So I was just thinking tonight about how I used to like Elvis quite a bit. I didn't really like him at first, but I actually found him when I was young kind of creepy. They had all these specials where he was supposed to be like living from the dead, and that creeped me out just as much as like a UFO movie or documentary. But when I got older, I sort of, got used to his music, started listening to it, picked out the ones I liked, then watched his movies and sort of got into it a bit, visit old junk stores, collected some magazines with him, and I was kind of into him for like a few years, but then, I sort of left home and I felt as though I was being like stalked by someone who was a bit like him, and I realized I probably don't actually like him very much at all, you know. So I, um, so after I moved out, the fascination in the old movies, I think, grew off me. I was sort of put under a lot of stress, and the fantasy that I had, been clinging on to before I sort of left home, um, it sort of faded, and I got sick of his music and his movies, and I haven't had any, great wish to listen to him again since. I don't know. So, I sort of got into a lot of trouble, I think, and I started to not like him anymore, and I didn't want to listen to his music anymore, and so it was a big movement for me to be hooked onto his music and then suddenly be turned off by it as well. Like change of attitude, change of mindset. I don't like many of his movies anymore all of a sudden, and sure enough, if one's on TV, I might watch it, but they are okay to watch, but I don't think I really greatly admire him a lot. Sometimes I listen to one of his songs come on some sort of airplay, and I think, oh, that's an okay song, but I sort of grew off his movies a lot, and I don't think I really admire his personality. He was supposed to be a bit of a shifty character, and I started to not really like him at all. Um, so yeah, so I've sort of ever since then I haven't actually listened to him very much, and I haven't looked at any of the magazines that I bought or anything. So I do have two magazines with him, and um, and it has heaps of pictures, but I don't really want to look at him at the moment, because I'm not finding him very his character or him just very attractive or anything. So um, yeah, so I sort of got like really turned off from being a kind of a into him a little bit into being totally turned off and not into him at all. Um, so I just yeah, so it's kind of funny like that. But um, yeah, but ever since then, like there hasn't been like anything that I've seen that's new come up. So I think even the media portraying him as a rejuvenated um, entertainer, the it's died down a lot, and um, they make a big thing about something from the person being sold for a lot of money, but in the back, there's a lot of things that aren't actually sold for very much money that have been his. So, I think he's got a relatively low um, record base now. Like I don't think he's very high ranked at all in Celebrityville. Um, because I think celebrities have just you know grown off the level that used to be the highest and have just expanded too much. And he's not actually allowed to be able to expand, but I don't think he has ever expanded as much as other people have. So, um, which is, some food for thought. Maybe the term king is a little too large now. Um, but I think the less he's, portrayed or revived in the media, the more he's going to be a past thing, so he'll be like one of the things that's hard to find, um, but, um, but sure enough, he was like huge for his era, but I think, I'm not sure if he's as huge now. I mean, like, there's things that are like the artist's whole discography, that's owned by someone. I don't think it's as valuable as other people's. He'll pay several millions for, and his is only like something thousand or so. So I don't think it's as high ranked as other people's. So I'm not sure like if he really should be called like a king anymore, but I don't know. For his era, I think a lot of people liked him. Obviously, he has, some traits. They liked his face. Probably they liked his eyes. They were blue, and his tone of voice was, alluring a lot of people. And I think I think there was a draw there, but I also think there wasn't. There's also a drawback from him. His movies, despite being watchable, um, they're not perfect, and his characters are not perfect, and nothing about them is perfect. Everything's like of a generation, or not flash great, but you know, um, but you can tell that that they were supposed to be good movies because they have an appealing, a lot of bright colors, so I think that was their appeal, that everything was bright and perky and people liked that. So but I don't think they were that great, really. So everyone makes a big deal about the old movies, but I don't think like a lot of movies were that great. Oh, I don't think a lot of movies were that great, actually, and I don't think his were ever really that great movies. But they were still okay. I mean, who else has portrayed characters like that? No one really, because so it's a very individual act that he's portrayed in movies. So I don't think anyone else would find it easy to do such things. I think it looks easy, but it's probably harder than what it seems. But yeah, just like I don't know. I'm not really into him anymore, so I'm not into anyone. Like, I think the general appeal of celebrities are sort of losing their allure, and a lot of people are retracting And, as celebrities, fall off one by one, they're forgotten. The things that were so big and everyone made a deal about once long ago is slipped, and now they just vanish, and people forget, you know. So I think that's the thing with a lot of celebrities. So it's amazing to have someone remembered through generations, because every generation grows up with something new around them, and that's why it's a big thing for someone to last generations. Because there's new generations, being born and stuff, and whenever they're growing up, they're finding something new, fascinating, or interesting, and it's different from the generation before. So, and they won't even know like the things that people followed yesterday, and they'll know what people follow tomorrow, and whatnot. So, I think a lot of people who are famous are just being forgotten, and they're not necessarily dead or anything. It's just that no one really wants to know them or remember them, or they don't think their acts are appealing or songs are appealing or whatever. So, but I think that's the thing. People are trying to get celebrities to be like standing there for a long time, but they're not really actually very liked anymore. So, I think that's the thing that's happening. There's been a big combustion of super celebrities or from for a while, and they've busted out. People have enjoyed them, and many things have been bought, but I think their appeal are fading, and they've already been set up to last so and so more years, but people actually they're actually phased out